If your current living situation is driving you crazy and you're looking to move, I have 5 reasons that will convince you there is no better place to live than Raleigh, North Carolina. I constantly hear from clients moving to Raleigh the desire to escape their city, commonly due to things like significant traffic, long and snowy winters, the ridiculous cost of living, and so many more. With my family spread all over the US, along with the feedback from the hundreds of families we've helped relocate to Raleigh over the past few years, I have a unique perspective on why Raleigh can be a solution to so many of these pain points. And after traveling to many of these locations myself, I completely understand your frustrations, and it reaffirms to me why I would never want to leave Raleigh, North Carolina. So using my firsthand experience, I have the top 5 reasons as to why living in Raleigh will blow away your expectations and have led to Raleigh being named one of the best places to live in the country for years. While many will feel the last reason is the most convincing, this is my personal favorite for why living in Raleigh is so great, and that's its commitment to providing a high quality of life. Raleigh ranked number 5 overall in the Best Quality of Life survey by the US News & World Report, and I would argue it should be ranked even higher. The other cities in the top 10 are not really in the same tier as the Raleigh metro area from a size and scale perspective, and the other popular relocation destinations like Tampa Bay, Myrtle Beach, Austin, Charlotte, and more didn't even crack the top 25. So why is Raleigh so much better than the competition? First off, traffic. Raleigh residents will all agree traffic in the area has gotten much worse over the last 10 years. But if you only know Raleigh, you have it made. Try driving in places like Charlotte, which is ranked among the worst cities to drive in the country. Tampa Bay has been a popular relocation destination, but driving anywhere at any time of day can be a nightmare. Raleigh is regularly named among one of the best cities in the country for driving, whether that be commuting, driver friendliness, safety, or more. Outside of the few highly traveled roads, Raleigh residents don't know real traffic unless you've driven in a major city. So for those coming from a large city, Raleigh traffic will feel like a Sunday morning drive. Those relocating to Raleigh are also looking to escape freezing cold and snowy winters up north, or the extreme heat and humidity of the far south, and even the hurricanes of Florida. If you don't like snow, we get excited about the 1 inch of snow for the 1 to 2 times per year that it happens. Raleigh gets to experience all 4 seasons and has seriously the best spring and fall weather. And even as I record this in February, it's nearly 70 degrees outside. In the summer, yes, it does get hot into the 90s and the humidity is killer, but our summers are only bad for roughly 2 months compared to places like Texas, where it's extremely hot for nearly 4 months. And Raleigh rarely gets impacted by hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, or even wildfires. So from a natural disaster standpoint, Raleigh is in a pretty good spot. And to enjoy that nice weather, Raleigh has a top-notch park system with the number and quality that few cities can compete with. And while technically not in the city limits, the nearly 6,000-acre Umstead Park is literally right in the middle of the metro area as a whole. There's multiple lakes, tons of hiking and biking trails, and great playgrounds for the kids all around. And we have a very high investment score as the city spends to keep their quality very high. Where Raleigh does fall short, though, is accessibility. Since the greater Raleigh area is very spread out, most parks are not close enough for the majority to walk to. And rounding out quality of life attributes, Raleigh and really North Carolina as a whole have great public schools and even better universities nearby. Match that with amazing healthcare with the Duke and UNC healthcare systems, and it being one of the safest cities in the US, it's hard to find something in the quality of life category that Raleigh does not excel in. And there's really no comparison between what you get in Raleigh versus many other moderate to major cities. And before we get into another shock to many when visiting Raleigh, I will say that Raleigh is absolutely beautiful. The tree coverage is amongst the best in the nation, and that really shows. As green is everywhere, and as mentioned, the parks are amazing. Now, this next reason that also influences the high quality of life is the Southern hospitality that is felt in Raleigh. People moving to Raleigh from the Northeast or California will really notice a difference in North Carolina as a whole, as people are generally more welcoming, talkative, and overall nice. It's common for strangers to strike up conversations with each other, and they're generally more courteous than many other larger cities. Now, there has been quite a few residents who have relocated from other areas of the country and world that have brought their culture and background to mix in with Raleigh's traditional Southern culture. So you will find areas of Raleigh that are fairly diverse and progressive. It's an excellent mixture, but even with the infusion of new cultures, if you're looking for Raleigh's Southern hospitality, money, it still remains the backbone of everyday interactions. This next reason is the most controversial, but I'm gonna say it. Raleigh has a lot to do if you know where to look. Listen, I understand that Raleigh doesn't have the big city entertainment and an abundance of professional sports like many other larger cities. But what Raleigh does have is one of the best college sports scenes in the nation, with Duke, UNC, and NC State all within 45 minutes of each other. And the Carolina Hurricanes are beloved by Raleigh residents, as home games have been sold out for years. So while Raleigh feels more like a small town market, the passion and smaller, more local vibe versus the more commercial feel of, say, somewhere like Charlotte, honestly just allows you to connect more with the fans and the teams. And with shopping and restaurants and concerts, Raleigh is growing very rapidly. It looks vastly different on the entertainment front than it did even 3 to 4 years ago, as a significant number of mixed-use style developments have transformed the downtown and the North Hills areas, and the suburbs have exploded with commercial development. Raleigh has big plans and is adding new things to do seemingly every day. But for those with families, your favorite part of Raleigh may be the family atmosphere, as Raleigh caters to families in a major way through events, public spaces and parks, schools, and so much more, so there'll be plenty to do to keep you entertained. This is the last reason before we get into the greatest advantage Raleigh has over other cities, and that is its high-performing job market and economy. Raleigh was just named as the #1 best-performing city in the U.S. by the Milken Institute, which measures the overall economic outlook through analyzing job opportunities, variety of major industries, wages, high-tech growth, housing affordability, and more. And Raleigh was named #1 in the country for STEM job opportunities and #2 in technology jobs, just behind Austin, Texas. So if you need a job in the technology sector and want the highest quality of life, you should look hard at Raleigh. Raleigh also thrives in healthcare, a wide variety of business and professional services, education, and believe it or not, leisure and hospitality. All of these prior reasons make great arguments to move to Raleigh, but this last one is the most convincing to people outside of Raleigh, and that's its relative affordability. Raleigh is not what it once was affordability-wise, where you could get an absolute steal for a house on a decent amount of land. But like every other city during the pandemic, Raleigh's home prices skyrocketed. The key here, though, is relative affordability, as while Raleigh home prices are at an all-time high with a median sales price of $456,000 according to Redfin, if you compare to other major cities, what you get in Raleigh is pretty amazing. Raleigh is roughly in the same price range as places like Nashville, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Florida, and Boise, Idaho, but it is well below places like Austin, Texas, Charleston, South Carolina, and Denver, Colorado. And it isn't even close to major U.S. cities like Boston, Massachusetts, New York, San Diego, and Los Angeles, California. So that's the overall cost of your home, but what do you get for your money? The best measure of that is the price per square foot, and Raleigh provides incredible value compared to many other U.S. cities. Cities like LA, Boston, and New York provide extremely low value for your dollar, where unless you're incredibly well off, you're likely living in a small space. Even cities like Austin, Charleston, and Denver are very expensive with this metric. And even when compared to similar cities like Nashville and Tampa, Raleigh's $244 a square foot provides significant value. And what about the cost of living? Raleigh has been either just above or just below the national average, depending on which ranking is used, as Raleigh remains relatively affordable overall when it comes to taxes, gas, groceries, restaurants, and general entertainment. So while there are certainly cities that are cheaper than Raleigh's, when you combine Raleigh's relative affordability overall with its amazing quality of life, job market, and more, it's really hard to beat what Raleigh offers. To learn more, check out our video breaking down the best neighborhoods of Raleigh, North Carolina, where we ranked all the major neighborhoods in the greater Raleigh area by nearly 30 factors. And if you're thinking of moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, please don't hesitate to reach out.